Hi, I'm Jennifer from Shabby Fabrics. Today I'm going to show you how to make these adorable fabric bowl covers, and they're reversible. We've got one fabric on one side and another cute fabric on the other. These adorable fabrics are from Riley Blake. Lori Holt designed them. It's the Farm Girl collection, and I love one piece more than the next. It's so much fun. And you can personalize these bowl covers with maybe your family's last name with a monogram or another shape or words, anything that you wanted to do. But let's get started on how to make these. Now we don't know what size bowl that you're using, but today we'll be using a bowl that has a 9-inch diameter. And why that's significant is it determines how big you cut your fabric. Now, what we have discovered when making our bowl covers is if we take whatever diameter this is and add 3 inches, it's a nice snug fit. So whatever size bowl you're doing, you will grit 2 fabrics, the one for the top, the one for the bottom, and a fusible fleece. Now you can either determine the diameter of the bowl and adding 3 inches on either side. We could be adding 6 inches. So in this case, this is 9. Plus 3 over here and 3 over here is 15. You can either pre-cut your fabrics to that size or maybe go a little bit bigger so you have a little bit more of a fudge factor. Now we went ahead and pre-cut everything just because it's easier on camera. So these are cut to 15 inches. If you do that, you'll want to go ahead and fold and find the center of your fabric. And that's the quickest way to find the center, is just do a double fold. And there'll be a crease right there. And that just gives me a visual little target. Now this kind of only works if you're using with a clear bowl. I can kind of see that target down there in that center, and I'm going to just lay that over top of that. So the first thing I'll do with my friction pen, I'm going to tell you this in every single video. If you don't have the friction pen, just get them. I literally find so many uses for it. And it's a regular pen too. So it's great for everything in your sewing room. I'm going to draw that on there. And now I'll put that to the side. This is where the 6.5-inch little Omni Grip ruler is so fantastic. You could use this ruler, but look how cumbersome this is. I mean, I have to literally move out of the way to use it. So that's why I like to use the little one. Where your drawn lines are, and I didn't draw my line very dark here. I'll start right here where you can see that. I'm just going to measure over the 3 inches and make a mark out here. And you just kind of have to keep working your way around this. You get the gist of it, so that you're creating a 3-inch line outside of the line you've already drawn. Now we've done that ahead of time. And we went ahead and cut that out. So let's work with those pieces. And the lines here on our sample, rather than fold and fold to find the center, we actually drew the lines on. So that's another way to find center. Now my favorite disappearing trick, I'm going to do this. I just love how those lines are gone. I needed them, but I don't want them anymore. So there they go. Now with this project, I want you to take note that the seam allowance is 1/2 inch. We are so programmed in quilting to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So you might even want to just put a little sticker on your sewing machine, 1/2 inch seam allowance, to keep reminding yourself that we'll be using 1/2 inch seam allowance. And it's very important later on, because this is the channel through which the elastic runs. If you did a 1/4 inch seam allowance, there's not enough room for the elastic to feed in through there. So what we're doing here is we're just going to go all the way around this with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and we're going to leave a good 4 to 5 inch opening. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when we come back, I'll take you to the next step. So I've sewn all the way around my 1/2 inch, and I've left my opening on this side. Now notice how I went in while we were off camera, and I just snipped in. It just gives it a little bit more relief at taking some of the bulk away. I could even trim down that seam allowance from the 1/2 to the 1/4 if I wanted to. And as I'm trimming this down, I was the first trimming it down because I don't like the bulk. But when you think about the fact that the elastic's going to run through this channel, I think it's probably a good idea to just go ahead and trim that down. And see how I'm just bringing in the rotary cutter. Obviously be careful you're not cutting in too close, getting close to your threads. But I just think I want to trim that away, and we'll just do that all the way around real quick. And then we'll go to the next step. The thing I love about bowl covers, you know, when you go to a barbecue in the summertime and the flies and bees and bugs, I just love, once everybody has kind of served themselves, but you don't want to put it away in case somebody wants seconds. It's a way to kind of cover the food. And I don't know, keeps it fresh, or at least in my mind. But we're at the point now where we can go ahead and turn this through. Let's find our opening. There it is. And I love the turning tool that I found. It's the simplest little tool, and I go to it so many times when I just want to press this out. Now this was pressing out pretty easily just with my hand, but I love the turning tool, especially if you're turning something that maybe has some sharp, that has some corners that you just kind of can't get into. And we'll just turn that through. Now, we're not going to close this just yet. What I want you to do, after you get everything all smoothed out, in fact, let me show you on the next one what this looks like. Here is the opening. We're going to go ahead and sew all the way around. And actually we are going to sew all the way around, but don't close this yet, okay? Because that's where you're going to have to feed in your elastic. So a 1/2 inch around the entire distance, and then you're creating a channel. That's the area through which we'll be able to feed in the elastic. So now that we're at this stage, I've already sewn that around. Let's put that away for the moment. Okay, we've just kind of tucked that under. Notice it's still a raw edge. We've just tucked it under. You'll grab your elastic. I think this is just a 3/8 inch elastic. Yes, it's a 3/8 of an inch. Something that's going to be able to fit inside that channel, maybe even a 1/4 inch, but don't go any wider than 3/8 because you have a 4/8 inch, 1/2 inch seam allowance. So it's going to be snug in there, but that's what you want for the bowl. Now we measured around our bowl, right? We measured around it, and we actually took that distance and subtracted 2 inches. That way it'll fit nice and snug. Now I have a safety pin that I pinned here, and we will just feed this through, just start feeding it through, and it's going to be in this channel, and you'll do this all the way around. Okay, you just start feeding it all the way around. And when I come back, I will show you how to finish that. Now make sure that you keep that end open, because when we come back around, I'll show you how to attach the 2 ends of the elastic and how to finish up your bowl covers. So now that I've fed this all the way around, I have where I started and I have the end. Now don't lose those. If you have to step away, let's say you get called away to do something, what I recommend is you just put that end in with the safety pin as well, so that that's secure and you can go do what you need to go to work, feed the dog, make dinner, whatever you're going to do. But when you're ready to sew them, we're just going to pull that out and pull this out as well. All right, and now we just have to pull some of that fabric back. We will lay them over top of each other. I recommend at least 1 inch of an overlap, zigzagging here, probably at the other end and maybe in the middle as well, to secure that. Then now it'll be ready, you can let go of it. And then at this point, you'll just tuck in the raw edges that you have there. And with needle and thread, which I have here, you'll simply whip stitch the opening closed and tie off. And that's all there is to making bowl covers from Shabby Fabrics.